Greetings, beloved. Rev here. Hey, I was asked a series of questions concerning this documentary, Moving from Resilience to Restoration. One of the questions that I was asked was, what are some of the challenges that we heard about when facing the Gulf South? And so I wanted to make sure that I answered that question for those that may have asked. Some of the challenges that we experienced while we were there were the fact that these stories aren't really getting out. If I be honest with you, that was the first thing that came to mind. These stories don't get out. And so we wanted to make sure that we were a solution for that. And we tried to answer to that by documenting our goings and comings. Throughout the Gulf South. We went through all 5 Gulf South states and was able to visit with partners and visit with some of the community members. And so we heard about the various issues that were happening when it comes down to the devastating unnatural disasters that we face in our weather. Beloveds, we don't get a lot of relief when it comes down to that. The destruction happens amongst us equally, but the recovery from it doesn't happen for us uh, equitably, or even equally. And so that's one of the issues that we faced. We had a lot of water infrastructure issues that were happening, and that becomes extremely important when we start talking about our present day and we start looking at data center, the water consumption when it comes down to data centers and the existential threat that that brings with it. There was also some issues when it came down to infrastructure in itself. We saw one of the issues that we had ourselves personally that we experienced. That was this huge storm that brought with it some real serious weather issues, real serious disasters. And as we rolled along the roads in Mississippi, we found ourselves having trouble getting around because the infrastructure wasn't as adequate as we would have liked in Jackson. And so we were able to get around, of course, and able to do what we needed to do. But nevertheless, we did think about those who stay there on a consistent basis and what they've had to deal with. So these are some of the issues that we faced. But more so than anything, beloveds, let me lift up the issue of policy for you all, and the fact that there are policies that don't protect us. They hurt us. They are more geared toward profit than they are toward planet or people. And these policies hurt us in the long run as a community collectively. So these are some of the things that we've had to deal with while we've gone throughout the Gulf South. Another question that was asked is, why is this so important that we raise these issues and raise awareness around these issues as we've done in this documentary? The reason why this becomes extremely important for us is, as I've said before, these stories don't get out on a regular. They aren't stories that dominate our headlines, but they should. And so we have the equipment, and we wanted to make sure that we are utilizing our voices for good. And so we're raising these issues and the images of those that are struggling and are victorious in these issues before you. So you can see not only what the community faces, but you can also see what these heroes are coming to this fight with and what they are doing in this fight so that we can also celebrate them. And for those who are still in the midst of the fight, as we all are, so that you can find out who they are to support them. Beloveds, we just wanted to make sure that these stories were told so that those who see don't look away, but are moved to act. A third question was asked, what does it mean to move from resilience to restoration? Well, we look at this in 3 forms. There's the ecological movement and restoration. There's the economical movement and restoration. And then thirdly, there's the ecumenical movement and restoration. Allow me for a minute just to expound on that. The ecological restoration that we need to move to. It's when we center our planet and its people and its creation in the forefront of all that we do. When we make our decisions, we make our decisions based on not only how we could profit from it, but also we consider the harms that come from it. When we look at data centers right now, this is a prime example of what is happening when it comes down to what we're calling for. Ecologically, we hadn't considered the fact that these data centers destroy our communities and our planet. We aren't looking at the fact that these data centers consume the water that it consumes or the electricity that it consumes. And we aren't looking at the infrastructure build out that's needed to support these and the fact that this brings about economic hardships for us. So, in our ecological restoration, we are considering our environment. We are considering those who inhabit our environment. We consider the whole as a part of the one, which is one family and one home. And the last question, which I feel like is the most important question on this list, is why should you watch this documentary, or why should you find it important to watch this documentary? And I need to answer that this way. Beloved, you need to find this documentary important not only to watch, but also to encourage others to watch and to share. The reason why is because these stories, again, aren't told on a large scale. And so we've got to be the ones that tell these stories. We've got to be the ones that promote these stories, as well as the plight of the communities that are facing the issues that we bring up in these stories. But not only that, this is a way for us to majorly celebrate those who are in this fight. As one of my mentors, my dear mentor, Reverend Dr. Gerald Durley says, it's one thing to be on the battlefield. It's a whole completely other thing to be in the battle. And beloveds, the people that we've highlighted, the organizations, the communities that we've highlighted in this documentary are those who are in the battle with us. And we need to celebrate them. We need to highlight them. We need to recognize them. Lastly, we need to support them. And this is a tool. This is a tool that brings to you the stories of these communities, the plight of these communities, so that we can tell our stories. Listen, watch the movie, enjoy it, share it, celebrate it, and most of all, learn from it. As always, I offer to you love, peace, and light.